Welcome back, folks. First thing that we're going to do with this, we're not going to black this out, we're going to blue it out. See, we've got enough natural sunlight coming in that I can actually still see what's going on inside the tank. But I want to see that purling stop. All that purling has got to come to an end. And I can tell you, since the top off, this smell is incredibly greater. Well, I mean, it's incredibly less. It smells better, shoot. But now that we've got the blue light effect on, hopefully, this will stop some of the algae growth. The real problem with this algae growth was the supplement that I put in there. It was meant for 55 gallons, and this is a 10-gallon tank, and there's less than 10 gallons of water in it. And as you can see, Audrey's Tui's hungry, thirsty little butt has been soaking it all up. But she can only take in so much. So what happens? Algae blooms, of course. So we're gonna let our snail friends go to work. We're gonna let our shrimp friends go to work. And we are not going to put anything into this tank whatsoever. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we will see what happens. We're going to be patient. Later on, I'm going to come by and do one more of a somewhat more thorough cleaning. And then hit this with a sand cap. So that'll be part 2 of this video. But after that, we're going to give this 2 weeks and then see how this turns out. It's not going to be a complete blackout because this light is still connected to the same timer that the Better Kingdom light is connected to. So if the lights are still going to come on, but I will be setting this to blue as early as possible. So it will be getting some form of sunlight. So the Anubias will still be getting light, and that Bulbitis will still be getting light. And so those that dwarf micro Brazilian sword thingy. You know what? I still didn't look up the name of it. I'm gonna find the name of it. I'm gonna remember the name of it. I'm gonna write it on the tank. But yeah. So let's get to it. And you may not be able to see it, but there is a little bit of steam coming up off of this water. This is straight from the shower head, which means it's straight from the tap. And with that in mind, this particular water is still chlorinated. So what we're going to do is those couple of botanical leaves that I had taken out, I want to make sure that they stay good and waterlogged. So I'm going to go ahead and dip them down into this water while the chlorine begins to dissipate from them. And if there are any snails on it, it's probably going to kill them. But the real reason, the real benefit to this is that hopefully if there's any algae in there, that chlorinated water will also kill that as well. And remember, I mentioned our Amano friend. Wow, that's some serious glare. Can you even see him? He's right there. So there's plenty of algae in there for the Amano and for those pest snails to go to work. And again, 2 weeks. Oh, and there's our little red cherry friend. Red cherry Amano. There is enough algae in there to sustain them. So we're not going to be putting anything into that system. And in 24 to 48 hours, as this water naturally becomes dechlorinated, we'll end up topping this off completely. Right now we're going to leave it as it is. And then after our top off, we're going to fix that sand cap. Because that amount of dirt on top of the sand is unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. Well, good morning. Here we are the next day, and as you can see, there's been some rearranging going on, and there has been some rearrangements that took place. First of all, we have reverted back to the original hood, simply because that aquarium light was a planted light, and I feel that combined with the nutrient supplementation that was put into the water, it was just way too much. And what we did was we caused a plant spike in the water, and that was the biggest influencer of our algae. These lights are on for quite some time during the day. So now I had two choices. I could either reduce the amount of time that the light was on, or I could change the light. Now, as it turns out, when I first got this tank, the light wasn't working. A few days after getting the light, I figured, well, you know what, I got an extra bulb lying around here. Let me plug this in and put the bulb inside this fixture and see if it works. And when I went to turn to get this bulb out of this fixture, it came on. So I was not aware that this light was actually working. So since this light is actually working, I've been plotting and planning to actually put it back on here. And this seems like the perfect opportunity for now. Our sand is not perfectly in place, but if you noticed, most of that dirt is all good and covered up. Right now we still have some settlement that needs to be addressed. Excuse me, particularly on our Anubias and our Bulbitis. Not really worried about this Brazilian micro sword, because this Brazilian micro sword, as you can see, it's already sending out its shoots and runners. And if you ask me, I'm gonna say that plant is happy. But we've got a nice big pile of sand here that still needs to be kind of spread out. That's just dirty dead leaves. But we still have some more algae on here, and we still have some more algae in certain places. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and black this out for the time being. Well, excuse me. First, we're going to address this sand. We're going to move some of that sand on top of some of that dirt and, kind of flatten things out and make things look a little bit more presentable. Then we're going to clean off the sand settlement. Then we're going to go ahead and black this out. And instead of doing 2 weeks, we're gonna black this out for about 1 week and see how it looks. Considering that we have this light on here, this should be giving us way less energy. Now, being that the supplementation is already in the water, one can only hope that our plants are going to continue to do as well as they have. My real concern here is how much heat is this light going to be putting off, which right now I'm actually surprised is very little. It's been a while since I've been in the aquarium hobby. I can tell you back in the day, those hoods used to run very hot. But, it's a new millennia. We'll see. Looking around at our substrate, we've got plenty of movement going on, thanks to those pest snails. And being that we've cleaned up most of the algae, I can only hope that they don't start attacking all of the regular normal plant life. So, like I said, we've got a few adjustments to make, but other than that, we are ready to move forward with this tank. And we'll see what happens in our next update, where you will see a better representation of the sand being settled, and also the arrangement of all the scape. So once again, I'd like to thank you folks for joining me today. Like, share, and subscribe. As always, I ask if you know anybody suffering from any form of mental illness that you reach out, because you never know what that reaching out can do. Also, I'd like to remind you that winners aren't people that never fail. They're people that never quit, people that never give up. So don't you dare quit and don't you dare give up, especially not on yourself. See, I'm not giving up on this aquarium. Thank you for joining me, folks. Be safe, be blessed, enjoy your days, and I will see you in the next update. Dad Freddy 21 signing off. Peace.